Today, Ukrainians are not only defending their country from the evil of Putin and his enablers, they are defending their rights, the principles of the UN Charter, and the values of freedom and democracy that so many of us hold dear. There's no option but victory for Ukraine. Canada will be there to support Ukraine's fight for freedom for as long as it takes. And once they win, we will help them to recover. Last week, I was in Ukraine to reaffirm just that. I met with courageous and resilient Ukrainians from all walks of life who are passionate about rebuilding Ukraine once they are victorious. In our conversation, it was clear, for reconstruction to be inclusive and enduring, it must address both the physical and invisible impacts of Putin's war on men, women, and children, victims of the war. And so we must tackle the psychological marks of the war with the same seriousness and urgency as the physical scars. To heal the trauma that has been inflicted on the population, we must support survivors in seeking justice. This pursuit of accountability will be essential to achieving lasting peace in Ukraine. The efforts Ukrainians are making to provide relief to their fellow citizens, even as the war rages, is inspiring in a world awash in too much suffering. It drove home for me the need for the international community, of all of us, to continue helping Ukraine. Let me be clear. Russia's war on Ukraine is unjustifiable. It is illegal. Russian forces have committed and continue to commit indiscriminate and appalling acts across Ukraine. They have destroyed entire cities, targeted hospitals and playgrounds. In an act of incredible horror, they have ripped children away from their homes. They have taken the lives of too many families. In Ukraine, I met with the Prosecutor General to discuss his work to gather evidence and prosecute those responsible for crimes linked to the war, including conflict-related sexual violence. He is dealing, as we speak, with some 60,000 cases, and this number climbs with each passing day. The details included in each are horrific, yet those figures do not provide a full picture of the widespread human suffering occurring each of the 363 days of Putin's war. For every individual who is willing to tell their story, many others go unreported due to the stigma and feelings of shame, as mentioned by First Lady Zelenska a bit earlier. And I also met with Ukrainian police officers, psychologists, prosecutors, and investigators who are working to investigate and prosecute these crimes while supporting survivors of this violence. And Canada will continue to support them. Those responsible for this suffering will answer for their crimes. They will be met with the full force of the law. Canada welcomes Ukraine's case against Russia at the International Court of Justice, and we continue to support the International Criminal Court's efforts in Ukraine. We have also joined the core group launched by Ukraine, my friend Dmytro, in examining the proposal to establish a special tribunal on the crime of aggression, a crime which may not fall within the scope of existing institutions. Together, we will leave no stone unturned as we identify the most effective ways to hold Russia accountable for its crime of aggression. This is also aimed at deterring others who are watching us, considering if they could ever challenge the rules. The emergency session of the General Assembly will meet today and vote tomorrow on a resolution on UN Charter principles underlying a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace in Ukraine. And Canada calls on all member states to support the resolution and, through it, to continue supporting the principles of the UN Charter and the people of Ukraine. Thank you. Yes.